So I wanted to show you the difference between interfacing and stabilizer. So stabilizer can come in packets like this, but you can buy it on the bolt, and it's non-fusible usually. Actually there are a couple of fusible ones that you can get now, but the purpose of stabilizer is that you put it into something to make the fabric not move when you stitch on it. So things like embroidery really benefit from having stabilizer, so that fabric doesn't pucker as it's having all of the stitches added to it in the machine. But it's designed so that you can remove it, and that's the big difference. Stabilizer is designed to be removed from a project, and interfacing is designed to stay in a project and enhance it. So stabilizer comes in three different types. You can get tear away, so once it's stitched you can rip it away and it's gone. You can get cut away, so it's a little bit more solid. You have to use scissors, as you can guess from the name, to get rid of the excess stabilizer. And then there's wash away as well. I actually have a little piece of wash away here, and it does look just like any other stabilizer, but it is actually soluble in water. I use this, there's a tip on my blog for making my own version of spray starch or best press or whatever starch alternative that you prefer. I dissolve this in water and then I spray it from a little spray bottle, and that helps keep my fabrics flat and gives me a better pressing experience. So that's another thing that I use it for, but that's an aside. So that's stabilizer. Interfacing, however, can get quite confusing because there's so many different types. So the most popular ones in the stores over in at this side of the Atlantic anyway are made by Pelon. There are other brands like Vilene in Europe and the UK. They're very similar, they're just different brands, but there are different types that you can get. So there are interfacings like this, and then woven ones. So these ones are like a mashed potato really. It's made by fibres all being blended together, and this is a lightweight one. So the lightweight stabilizers are designed for things like necklines on dresses so that you don't get crinkliness. I've learnt that the hard way. So these lightweight ones are kind of good for dressmaking, and then the more heavyweight ones are better for bag making and projects like that. This is a heavyweight, as you can probably hear and sort of see how stiff it is, non-woven interfacing. That's actually a generic one, so I can't quite tell you what that is. I've had it in a drawer for a while, and this is what a heavyweight woven one looks like. So it's quite crinkly, and then it's got like a shiny side on it. And the shiny side is the ironable side, so that's the side you'd put against the back of your fabric and press it with an iron, and then it should stay there forever. Other types of interfacing that you can get, this one here is an example of SF 101, so that's Shape Flex 101 by Pelon. It's one of the most common ones referenced in bag making patterns, and it's a woven interfacing. It's fusible on one side, and yeah, it's very popular. You'll see that around a lot. Another popular interfacing is the Peltex Interfacing. This is an example of it here. See how rigid it is? So this is really good for handles, bag bases, that kind of thing. It makes it stand up really well. This is 71F, which means it's fusible, F for fusible, but 71, 1 is for one-sided. So this is fusible on one side. It's got like a rough, that's the fusible side, and then a non-fusible side. They also make 70, so that's not fusible, and 72F, which is two-sided fusible. So that's Peltex 72F would have fusible on both sides. And then lastly there's Fusible Fleece, which looks like this. So it's literally like fleece, but it's got little dots on the back, and fluff, because it's been in my house. And these dots are the glue, so when it's heated up it melts, and then that's what fuses to the fabric, and that's good for things like tote bags and kind of other projects you want to be a bit squishy. Good for pouches and that kind of thing. You can also get foam interfacings, and they're reasonably new on the market. Most of the time they're sew-in ones, so Soft and Stable by Annie. That one is a sew-in interfacing, and you can also get fusible ones as well, but they tend to be really pricey, or at least the ones I've found have been, and I think Pellon makes one of those too. I think it's called Flex Foam, but there are other brands out there too. So hopefully that clears up the differences between stabiliser and interfacing, and also between some of the different types of interfacing. If you've got any interfacing questions, feel free to leave a comment below and I'll answer that as best I can, and if I don't know the answer, I'm sure I know someone who does, and so I'll be able to find out for you. Maybe you're working on a project and you're not sure what interfacing is best to use for that project, or maybe you've got a pattern and it's asking for something that you've never heard of, or you're not sure whether something is heavy enough interfacing for a project, and hopefully I'll be able to answer that for you.